Hi, my name is Sanjay. Welcome to our course on how to land your dream internship. This course has been designed to help prepare yourself and your profile for landing your dream internship in some of the best law firms in India. Let us get started with the first module, which covers the introduction and the orientation to this course. I'll start with a brief intro about myself. I'm a law grad from KSLU. I did my MBA from IIM Ahmedabad. I have around 20 years of experience, which includes 15 plus years of corporate experience with companies like HP, IBM, Deutsche Bank and Barclays Bank. Over the years, I have worked on a wide range of roles, including as the head of recruitment for Barclays Bank and Deutsche Bank's operation centers. As a recruitment lead, I would have overseen the hiring of a couple of thousand people across various levels for full-time roles, contract roles and internships. And I personally have seen thousands of resumes and conducted hundreds of interviews, which is quite normal for many recruiters these days. Many of the examples, best practices, do's and don'ts in this course are based on my personal experiences as a candidate, my learnings as a recruiter and as the head of recruitment, and what I have observed or heard from various recruiters. I have also extensively used feedback from legal professionals, advocates, and law students. I regularly hear many law students complaining that they have been applying to so many law firms, NGOs or companies for internships and they never get shortlisted and never get any feedback either. Well, could it be because you're repeating the same mistakes again and again, leading to the same result? Maybe if you do your research on what firms are actually looking for and tweak your profile or change the way in which you are applying, you could actually succeed in your internship applications. Well, the basic purpose of this course is to do just that. We will take a look at the what, where, why, when, which and hows of internship applications. We will look at the common mistakes that lead to rejection, the best practices followed by successful candidates. We will also talk about how to improve your profile from an internship's perspective. And we will also touch upon the process of continuous self-development. Whether you are a fresh student just starting off with your applications or you are a veteran of several previous internships, this course is designed to help all law students. When you are recruiting in large numbers, you start seeing some trends, some common attributes among successful candidates, some common reasons for candidates being rejected, some aspects which make a few applicants stand out of the crowd. I have captured all of these in this course and discussed some of the traits that you should develop in yourself as a candidate which will help you succeed. Whether you are applying for internships or applying for a job, the underlying factors for selection or rejection remain the same. So your learnings from this course should help you with your internship journey and your future career as well. Since this course is about landing a dream internship in one of the top law firms in India, let us talk about what is a top firm from our perspective. For this course, I have used various criteria and parameters to arrive at a list of 185 firms across 40 different practice areas. The list of top firms includes large firms like AZB, Khaitan & Co., Cyril Amarchand Mangaldas, which have anywhere between 300 to 800 lawyers across India. There are mid-sized firms like Desai & Divanji, Samvad Partners, Tatva Legal, which can have 100 to 200 lawyers. Relatively smaller firms like Advaita Legal, Jerome Merchant Partners, Vertices Partners may have 25 to 75 lawyers. There are also several niche and boutique firms like ZBA, Spice Route, Trust Legal, which may not have large headcount, but they operate in high-profile practices and advise on high-value deals. So the term top law firm from the context of this course is a function of size, reputation and practice. That is, both quantitative and qualitative parameters have been used to create the list of firms. I also looked at the most sought after firms on various NLU and top law school campuses. I looked at how their placements and internships work. These firms are known for their learning opportunities, career options, and of course, their excellent salaries. The CTC for freshers in some of these firms can be 12 to 19 lakhs per annum. Looking at some recent placement data, we see that the number of pre-placement offers can be higher than the actual placement numbers on day 0 and day 1. So where do these PPOs come from? Well, these are offers made to candidates who have completed their internships or vacation schemes in these firms. A sample of NLSIU's placements shows 23 PPOs against 21 placements. NALSAR's sample shows 31 PPOs against 16 placements. That is almost double the number of PPOs as compared to placements. And NLUJ's numbers seem to show that the number of PPOs there is almost equal to the number of placements. So we can safely conclude that there is a strong possibility that an internship with a top law firm can lead to a subsequent placement. Therefore, whether you are from an NLU or a well-known law college or you are from a regular law school, if you intend to pursue a career with a top firm in India, you should first aim at getting an internship with them. Now, let me get to the big question that I have been asked several times. Do top law firms prefer NLU students? Having seen the internship requirements of all the top firms, only a couple of them mention anything about specific colleges or institutions. The rest of them mostly talk about the main parameters that they use for selecting their interns from among the applicants. They look for good communication skills, good extracurriculars which showcase the applicant's aptitude for law. They try to correlate the interests of the applicants to the firm's requirements and practice areas, and they often look for good academics as well. But practically speaking, a student from one of the top NLUs or a well-known college may find it somewhat easier to get shortlisted with the top law firms. So why is that? Look at these two pictures. They are essentially the same product, same ingredients, and probably taste the same as well. But one is branded better, packaged better, and presented better. On the same lines, while the underlying abilities may be similar for all candidates, students from top law schools are often presented better. But if you can tune your profile, get good extracurriculars, and present yourself well through your email, cover letter, and resume, you stand an equally good chance. Another factor in favor of students from well-known law colleges is that they have placement teams who get law firms to the campus during the correct season. They also help candidates create proper resumes and prepare for interviews. So a lot of groundwork is already covered. So if you are not from a top law school, can you get an internship with one of the top law firms in India? Absolutely yes. Like I mentioned previously, how you package and present your profile are the keys to getting shortlisted and selected. And even before you start working on your profile, what you need to do is basic research to understand the what, where, when, and whys of internships. Once you understand the rules of the game, you can then assess your strengths and weaknesses and enter the field. Now let us look at the actual competition for internships in these top firms. This is a concept called the selection funnel. Tier 1 firms, typically the large and well-known firms, can receive up to 500 applications for every internship role. These are fairly normal and common numbers, considering that well over 1.5 lakh students enroll into LLB courses every year across India. And there can be anywhere between 5 to 6 lakh active students across various semesters of 3 and 5 year LLB courses. Even if a small percentage of them apply to these top law firms for internship, the numbers become quite large. Now, don't let these large numbers fool you, because almost 90% of the candidates are rejected at the email, cover letter, or resume screening level itself. So the actual competition is much less. If you have prepared your profile and applied well enough, you are competing with just about 10% of the total applicants. Tier 2 firms may see up to 300 candidates per role, and on an average, Tier 3 firms may receive up to 100 resumes per opening. Out of the 10% of the original applicants who make it past the basic screening, only about 20 to 50% reach the final selections round, which may include an interview. And then obviously one applicant will get selected for the internship. So the first objective of this course is to work towards getting into that 10% which will make it into the actual selection process. Let me also talk about the pandemic effect on internships. From 2020 onwards, after the lockdown started, firms were forced to move to online or remote internships. Now that firms are accustomed to this new mode, the trend is most likely to continue. The advantage for the law firms is that they don't have a physical space constraint now. They can hire as many interns as they can manage, and they can evaluate from among a larger number of interns for potential recruitment. The advantage for students is that there is no location constraint for the internship. A student residing in any corner of India can now apply for internships in any firm in any big city. This also means that the competition for internships has increased. Earlier, local candidates probably would get a preference, or those who could afford to travel to the office locations for physical internships were the only competition. Now, almost everyone who has a good internet connection can apply. Therefore, the number of internship applications at the top tier law firms has also increased, which again means that your email, your cover letter, and your resume have now become more important than before, because they need to stand out from among the crowd. We already spoke about the recruitment funnel and how law firms receive hundreds of resumes per role, and also that 90% of the resumes are discarded during the initial screening itself. And we also discussed that the shift to online or remote internships has increased the actual competition. Now let us talk about the 7-second rule. Given the large number of applicants, a recruiter will spend just 7 seconds on an average on your email or resume in the first pass. The first opinion on whether to even consider the candidate for the next round is made within the first 7 seconds. This statistic is not just true for internship applications, but for most job applications as well. And this 7-second rule holds good for any tier 1, 2 or 3 law firm, reputed NGOs or corporates. Therefore, one of the objectives of this course is going to be about how to avoid the 7-second trap, how to avoid the common mistakes that lead to a candidate's profile becoming gone in 7 seconds. As I have mentioned earlier, a very common complaint that I hear from a number of students is that they have applied to a large number of firms and they never receive any response or update. From a candidate's perspective, you may feel that the recruiter can at least respond to the applicants. The silence is unfair. But try to look at it from the recruiter's perspective as well. Top firms may receive internship applications every day. Especially with the current trend of online internships, they will receive applications from all across India. If a firm receives a minimum of 30 applications per day, and if the recruiter takes 5 minutes on an average to read the application and send a basic response, that itself will require almost 2.5 hours out of their 8-hour working day. So recruiters will normally respond only if they find the profile suitable and want to take it forward to the next level. Since students are not getting responses from the law firms, there are a few questions that are not getting answered. I am applying to so many firms. Why am I not getting shortlisted? If I'm not getting shortlisted due to some specific shortcomings or mistakes in my application, what could they be? Am I repeating the same mistake in every application? By looking at the various reasons why internship applicants are getting rejected by various firms, this course will also give you an opportunity to review your own application and try to identify any shortcomings or mistakes. Let me now talk about how this course was designed. This course is primarily based on an understanding of the internship application and selection process of over 185 top law firms from across India. I have factored in the feedback from various recruiters on how they deal with the applications that they receive, how they shortlist, select or reject internship candidates. This is a very important factor since applicants do not normally get any feedback on why they were selected or rejected. So the feedback that I have collated and used in this course will help you understand the do's and don'ts of internship applications. I have researched into candidate experiences, studied the profiles of several successful candidates who landed internships in prestigious law firms to see what makes them different. And of course, many of the examples that I have used are from real internship applications that we receive regularly at LawMint, from applications sent to various law firms and applications sent to some of my previous organizations as well. Coming to the course structure, it is distributed across 8 modules, each of which will have an explanatory video followed by activities that you need to complete after the module. We will start with internship planning, that is, how should you plan your internship based on your career aspirations. For example, if your objective is to start your own practice in an area like family law, you should focus on interning with a practicing advocate or with a smaller firm and not with large firms. Next, we will go to internship research, where we will talk about a structured process for researching into various practice areas and shortlisting the target firms for your internship. In building your profile, we will cover points on how to start preparing for your internship. How should you build your profile based on what the law firms are looking for? The next 4 modules cover the actual application process. Why is the email one of the most important components of your application, the do's and don'ts on how to draft your email, how to draft your resume, how to avoid the common mistakes that can lead to rejection at a resume screening level itself. We will briefly talk about the cover letter and when is it required. Most top law firms will conduct interviews as well as one of the selection rounds. So we will cover a little bit on how to prepare for the interviews. The last module is about self-development, where we will look at the various skills and traits that will help you succeed in a legal career, and how to use the internships to conduct a self-assessment on what your strengths and weaknesses are, and prepare a self-development plan for yourself. This course is primarily designed to help LLB and LLM students who are applying for internships. Since many of the fundamentals remain the same, whether you are applying for an internship or for a job, the course will also help graduates and postgraduates in law who are applying for entry-level or trainee-level jobs in various firms. And yes, the contents of this course are relevant whether you are applying to a law firm, to an NGO, or for a corporate internship. When you are completing the activities after each module, the process that you should ideally follow is something called the learning cycle. The first step of which is to set a goal. Next, you will make a plan on how to achieve that goal. You will execute the plan. While you are executing your plan, you will learn a number of things. There are learning opportunities irrespective of whether your plan is successful, partially successful, or didn't work. You will then reflect what went well, what could have gone better, is there anything that you could have done differently. You will then adapt yourself based on your reflections, and you will set your new goals accordingly. For example, in the first year, you may decide to apply to a set of firms, which will be your first goal. You will plan your applications and execute. Based on what you learned during the application process or the internship process, you will reflect on what went well, what could have been done better, and you will adapt your approach. Be it changing your resume, completing some certifications, adding more extracurriculars, and you will decide your revised goals for the next cycle. Let us take a look at the ground rules which will make this course or any other course effective. Follow the flow of the course. Even if you think you are good at something, say drafting emails, don't skip that module. There is usually a reason why a course is structured in a specific way. So going with the flow helps in a better learning experience. Complete all the post-module activities. These have been included to reinforce your learning, and you will be using the results of your activities in your actual application process. Avoid templates. I could give you pre-made templates for everything, but using such shortcuts could mean that you are missing out on an essential practice on using MS Word or Excel. So if the activity is to draft a resume or create a tracker, start with a blank document and create a simple version for yourself. Remember, as a legal professional, you may be expected to edit or create comprehensive and lengthy documents. So getting some practice on Word, Excel and PowerPoint is highly recommended. Make it a habit to take notes. This is quite important even during your internships. It helps keep track of your tasks and the minute details, and helps you with activities like completing your mandatory internship report. Next is to track your progress. In a couple of modules, I will ask you to create some trackers. After you complete the course, you should not just forget about them. They are meant to be used over a longer period. Ideally, at least till you complete all your internships during your graduation. And finally, be honest to yourself. Be your own worst critic. See what can you improve upon. Be open to feedback, and while all the feedback might not be accurate, see if there is any specific reason behind that feedback. For example, if you think you are a good communicator, but you receive a feedback that you should work on your communication skills, don't ignore or dismiss it right away. Try to understand the background behind the feedback. Is it really a skill issue or a perception issue? To enroll into this course and get started on your journey towards your dream internship, click on the link below in the description, or go to our website lawment.com.